"Look, Mr. Roper," Jana started, her voice trembling. "We can explain about the money." "I don't want an explanation," Stanley interrupted. "I just want a yes or no. Are you coming to dinner with us or not?" The roommates stared at him. "Dinner?" Jack asked. "Yeah," Helen chirped. "It's our way of being neighborly." Stanley felt bad about, well, everything. "And since you already paid the rent, we figured we'd treat you." "Since we—" "What?" Jana gasped. Stanley looked confused. "The envelope. On the shelf. Yesterday, when I came up to fix your sink. It said rent, so I took it. I put the receipt in your mailbox. Didn't you see it?" The trio looked at each other. The missing money, the robbery, the police, the Jimmy J. cake. "You took it?" Jack asked, a hysterical laugh bubbling in his throat. "Of course I took it. You think I'd leave $300 lying around where any crook could grab it? You kids are lucky you got me looking out for you." Jack leaned against the wall, sliding down until he was sitting on the floor. Jana and Chrissy followed suit, the tension leaving their bodies in a collective wave of relief. "You okay, Jack?" Stanley asked, peering down at him. "You look a little green." "I'm fine, Mr. Roper," Jack wheezed. "I'm just experiencing the joy of neighborliness." "Good. Now let's go. I'm starving. And Jack, don't forget your steel plate. I don't want you short-circuiting during the appetizers." As they walked down the stairs, the trio shared a look of silent understanding. Their life was a mess of misunderstandings, close calls, and constant deception. But as they followed the Ropers out into the cool California evening, Jack realized that as long as they had each other and a landlord who was just as confused as they were, they would be just fine. After all, 3 was company, and in apartment 201, company was exactly what they needed. Chapter 5. The Great Wallpapering War. It was a Saturday morning, and for the residents of apartment 201, leisure was a relative term. Jana, in her usual role as the apartment's self-appointed foreman, had decreed that the living room walls were depressing and reminiscent of a 1950s hospital ward. "But Jana," Jack groaned, draped over the back of the sagging couch, "it's our day off. The only thing I want to decorate is a plate of pancakes with an excess of maple syrup." "No excuses, Jack," Jana said, slapping a roll of floral pattern wallpaper onto the coffee table. "We agreed. This weekend is for redecorating. Chrissy, you handle the paste. Jack, you're the Heights man. Chrissy, who is currently trying to read the funnies in the Sunday paper, which Jack had accidentally mangled with coffee earlier, looked up. Paste, is that the stuff that smells like mint but tastes like chalk? Don't eat the paste, Chrissy," Jack muttered, dragging himself to his feet. The process began with optimism and ended with a gluey catastrophe. Jack was perched precariously on a stepladder, a long strip of sticky wallpaper draped over his shoulder like a giant floral serpent. "Okay, lower it, Jack shouted. I am lowering it. Chrissy yelled back, struggling with the other end. But it's sticking to my hair. Chrissy, don't move, Jana warned. If you pull it now, the whole pattern will be misaligned. Downstairs, Stanley Roper was suffering. His toothache had returned with a vengeance, and every thud and shout from the apartment above felt like a hammer hitting a nerve. He was looking through a catalog, trying to ignore Helen's constant chatter about a red see-through nightie she wanted. Stanley, look at this, Helen insisted. How would you like to see me coming to bed in this? Stanley peered at the page. A golf cart. The other page. Stupid. The red nightie. You'd look better in the golf cart, Stanley grumbled. At least it has a roof. Determined to find the source of the noise, Stanley marched upstairs. He burst through the door of apartment 201 just as Jack lost his footing on the ladder. What's all this thumping? Stanley began, only to be smothered by 6 feet of wet, floral patterned paper. Jack, get him off! Jana screamed. Jack, tangled in the ladder, could only watch as the landlord flailed under the sticky shroud. Mr. Roper, I can explain. We were just applying a second fitting. I'll give you a second fitting. Stanley's muffled voice roared from beneath the paper. He finally tore himself free, his hair now plastered to his forehead with wallpaper paste. You ruined my shirt and my mood. And look at this paper, it's hideous. It looks like my grandmother's funeral parlor. We were just trying to improve the property value, Mr. Roper, Chrissy chirped, offering him a wet sponge. Improve it. You're destroying it. And look at this paper. He pointed to the mangled Sunday funnies on the floor. Is this my paper? Why is Andy Kent covered in espresso? It was an accident, Jack cried. I was reading about the foreman bully and I got passionate. Stanley narrowed his eyes, the paste beginning to harden on his eyebrows. Tripper, you're a menace. If this wall isn't finished by tonight and finished right, I'm raising the rent. Or I'm making you wear that red nightie my wife keeps talking about. We'll finish it, Jack promised. As Stanley stomped away, Jack looked at the glue-covered living room and his 2 exhausted roommates. Well, he sighed, picking up a brush. At least we don't have to worry about the second fitting anymore. I think Mr. Roper is already perfectly stuck on us. Chapter 6, The Recipe of Disaster. The beef bourguignon incident had a lingering, unexpected consequence. Stanley Roper, despite his initial anger, had developed a strange craving for the French gourmet dish Jack had supposedly made. Helen, I'm telling you, that stuff Jack made. It had a certain kick, Stanley said, sitting at his kitchen table. My teeth felt stronger just looking at it. Stanley, the boy said it was spoiled. Helen reminded him. I don't care. I want the recipe. I'm tired of your surprise stew. The only surprise is how you manage to make meat taste like damp cardboard. Stanley cornered Jack in the hallway the next morning. Tripper, I need that recipe. The one with the jelly stuff. Jack's heart skipped a beat. The French recipe. Oh, Mr. Roper, it's a family secret, passed down through generations of, kennel masters. I don't care about the history. Kid, just write it down.